Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Doxy, and today we are looking into some of the shows coming out this year that apparently we're all supposed to be excited about. And I cannot lie to you, I don't know what's coming out this year other than like Sakamoto Days and some more One Piece. But other than that, I live under the same rock I've always lived under, and this video is apparently going to tell us loads of shows that we should be really excited about this year. I don't know if they're new, I don't know if they're continuations or new seasons of shows you've already seen. That don't matter. We're going to watch it together, and hopefully you and I can find a new show to watch. So I ain't going to yap too much. Let's get straight into the video. Let's get excited.
2024 was a really special year for me.
I'm glad to hear it, bro. It's very solemn, isn't it?
Not only was it a great year for anime, with so many new fan favorites being brought into the limelight of anime
Absolutely.
but it was also the year where I discovered one of my new all-time favorite anime,
Not Frieren.
Frieren. And it was
Frieren,
thanks to
that's the
that
one.
show that this entire channel really got kickstarted.
Good for you, man.
Video, people started tuning in and supporting me. And so for that,
Well done.
I'll always
Happy
be
for you.
thankful to 2024.
Proud of you, man. Proud of you.
But who cares about that?
Okay.
2024, throw it in the garbage.
Sure.
We're talking about 2025, baby. Woo!
I love this person's energy so much.
So, 2025, here I come. Like I said, 2024
Okay.
was a great year for anime. But I'm always looking to the future and eagerly anticipating what
As you should be.
wrecking ball is going to crash
As
into
you should
online
be.
anime culture. For one, we're getting continuations of several highly praised animes like Apothecary Diaries,
Woo.
Dandadan, Fire
Woo.
Force, and of
Woo.
course One Piece.
Woo, One Piece!
Come to expect that these respective seasons of anime will probably be just as incredible. However,
Obviously.
today, I don't want to talk about existing series because of course those are going to be highly anticipated.
Is it all new?
Rather, I wanted to focus today on series that have yet to receive anime.
Hey, I'm happy
stuff
now.
that maybe not as many people will
Educate
know about.
me.
And these include series that either just started this year or are coming sometime in the future. And starting us out is a show that is coming out
Sakamoto Days.
the day after this video goes up.
I haven't watched it yet, but I need to.
Show is Sakamoto Days. Being based on a
Incredible.
shonen manga, there's a good chance that a lot of you probably already know about this series.
Read
But
it.
Nonetheless, it's one that I've been incredibly excited about. For anyone who doesn't know, Sakamoto Days follows, as you might have guessed, Taro Sakamoto, an ex-assassin who, after marrying the love of his life, having a kid, and gaining
Getting a bit chubby.
decides to leave his assassin ways behind him and settles into domesticated family life.
I love
running a
it.
Convenience store. And you
Love
know,
it. So
things are
simple.
Fine until his former life begins to catch up with him, and he starts seeing assassins infiltrating his store. If you were to just look at Sakamoto Days on the surface, it probably wouldn't stand out all that much. I feel like often these action comedy shows don't blow up nearly as much as these straight up battle shonens, but Sakamoto
True.
Days
That's
has
very
been
true.
doing pretty well in Weekly Shonen Jump since its debut in 2020. The premise alone is so ripe for gags and comedy that I really do feel like people are gonna latch on to this anime.
Of course they will. Like, you need to understand this. Like, not every show needs to be convoluted and complicated. Like, this is such a simple show. Ex-assassin, now normal run-of-the-mill bloke at home, got a bit chubby, gained a bit of weight, as we all do at some point in our life, and just wants to quiet himself down. Problem is, your past don't tend to, like, give up on chasing you. That's how life is. It's very accurate. It's very funny. Going by the manga, it's very funny, at least. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. Like, simplicity done well is better than something convoluted that's done poorly. This is one of those times where just keep it as it is. Keep it simple. Everyone's happy. Like, it's a mix of the shonen aspect of Spy Family, should we say, with the slice of lifeness of Way of the House Husband, which is very niche in itself. And you've merged it together with a little bit of comedy. And that's a wonderful mixture.
Juxtaposition of assassin affairs and day-to-day convenience store life really sets up for a lot of great memorable gags.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not like
Absolutely.
there isn't any action at all. It's just that instead of most of it coming from a screaming prepubescent boy,
It's a chubby
coming from a
40-year-old.
convenience store owner.
Yeah, sure, why not?
50? Well,
No, he's like
old is he?
35, 40, right?
Let me look this up. How old is Taro Sakamoto? Wait, what do you mean he's only
Huh?
27?
No, he's
What is
not.
life?
There is no way this Donnie is 27 years old. I've read this manga, and I never knew he was 27. I always thought he was like maybe 40, 35, 40, that kind of level of things. that man's had a hard life. Like, I know he was an assassin. I know he's gained a bit of weight, but like, that man should be collecting his pension. That man is not 27 years old. He is not younger than me. Absolutely. Like, I know I'm rough looking, but ain't that bad. Not yet, anyway.
It also helps that his design is both incredibly simple yet sticks out and is
Exactly.
memorable all the
Simple.
same, which of course are
Good
the
and
times
simple.
that I always appreciate. Sakamoto Days is animated by TMS Entertainment, who in the past have done shows like Lupin,
Dr.
Stone,
Stone?
and
Yeah.
Gray Man. They're not known for having super crazy animation or anything, but
Doesn't
they
need to be.
generally get the job done pretty well, and I think they're a good fit for an action comedy like Sakamoto Days.
I mean, it looks clean. That's all it needs to be.
Definitely an anime to keep your eyes on. However, given how much complaining I did last year about the utter lack of original animes in this day and age, I feel like it would be hypocritical of me to not highlight a few on this list. And the first one
it's
I'd like to
Mappa.
talk about is the newest
Is this
work by
Lazarus?
Studio Mappa, as well as famed Cowboy
Oh,
Bebop director
the
Shinichiro
genius.
Watanabe.
The
That show
genius.
being Lazarus.
There we go.
Lazarus is set approximately 30 years in the future, where a cure-all miracle drug is developed by a neuroscientist named Dr. Skinner and given to the masses. And you know, that's pretty nice of this Dr. Skinner.
Sure,
guy.
why
He
not?
seems like a pretty swell fella. I'm sure he doesn't have any kind of, you know, evil
Motives.
ulterior motives or anything.
I like that edit. That's good.
Yeah, turns out Dr. Skinner, not so cool. He's actually kind of like Jigsaw, if Jigsaw was a really
okay.
smart neuroscientist.
Sure.
And now the cure-all drug is going to kill everyone in 30 days unless someone can find the whereabouts of Dr. Skinner.
So we're just gonna go
And
looking
to
for this
save
man,
humanity,
basically.
The Lazarus Task Force is
Sounds
formed.
fun.
The show was announced in 2023 in collaboration with Adult Swim's Toonami block. And I have to tell the truth here, I am a little bit weary of Adult Swim's original anime at this point. I really didn't enjoy
Uzumaki
Ninja
sucked.
Kamui. It was just kind of a
That's
super
what I'll
generic
say.
action anime. And the less that's said about the disaster that
Thank
was
you.
Uzumaki,
Thank you. Thank you.
but
I knew it was gonna
I'm
get touched
really
on.
hopeful about this anime. The premise seems interesting enough, and I just really vibe with the overall aesthetic and character designs. But what I'm most looking forward to is the involvement of Shinichiro Watanabe. This guy
The
has made
music.
such legendary shows in the Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Space Dandy.
Okay, that's all well and good. Like, yes, he's directed some incredible shows like Cowboy Bebop, Space Dandy, Samurai Champloo, incredible shows. But the music, though, have you ever sat and listened to the music of any of these shows, especially Cowboy Bebop? Chef's kiss, mwah, it's perfect. So you know, like, regardless of the story, because you know it's going to be good just because Watanabe touched it, the music is going to be beautiful. And I'm going to be so happy, and hopefully some of you are going to be happy. You're probably wondering why I'm, like, gushing over the music, but just honestly, if you've not watched Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo, just listen to the sounds that your ear holes hear and just smile and just know that Lazarus is going to have absolutely incredible sound, and it's probably going to be really good. It sounds good. Like, I've heard the name before, but I knew very little about it. But just, Watanabe, I love this man. I love this man so much. Anyway, let him carry on. Sorry about that.
And I really appreciate what he stands for as a director.
Oh,
Someone who just
completely.
wants to make cool anime for
Just for the sake of it.
making cool
Yeah.
anime. You can tell that everything he works on is driven by passion, and I think that's something that really needs to be at the forefront of the anime industry, especially when it comes to original anime like this. However, Lazarus actually isn't the thing I'm looking forward to the most coming out of Mappa this year. That title would belong to the new original anime Zenshu.
I've never heard of
If you
that.
watched my videos in the past, a lot of you probably are aware that I really do not care about isekai.
How
Isekai
dare
is
you!
only bad as a genre. I just personally think most isekais are kind of dull and lame and not really my kind of thing.
Whoa,
I don't really
no.
feel like they do
I love an
anything
isekai.
that interesting with the concept, and thus, if anything, I feel like most of them are just kind of missed potential. So with that said, if an isekai shows
You've
up
hurt
on
my heart.
personal list of most anticipated anime, that should probably tell you enough about how interesting I think it looks. Zenshu follows animator Natsuko Hirose, who, after being given her first gig as an anime director, dies from overwork.
Oh,
And even as the year passes, this video becomes
that's
more and
fitting.
more relevant. After her death, Hirose awakens in her favorite childhood anime, A Tale of Perishing, the series that inspired her to be an animator in the first place. And as you might expect with a show called A Tale of Perishing, the anime's story isn't exactly sunshine and rainbows.
No.
However, Hirose finds that she's able to alter the events of the story by reanimating them. And to me,
Okay,
this already
I like
sounds
that.
it has the potential to be one of the biggest anime of the year.
So it's an anime in an anime.
Incredibly promising,
Meta.
especially for an isekai.
Okay.
But it also serves as an interesting meta commentary on, well, the anime industry, which you would not expect coming from Mappa, a studio many feel as though is beginning to lose its way. What with the employee abuse and everything.
Yep.
The fact they're even willing to allow a show that depicts an animator dying from overwork is surprising to say the least.
Firstly, I do agree because Mappa is the last company I'd expect after everything that's happened to allow something like this to happen. So kudos for allowing it to be released. Second of all, though, it looks incredible. Like, it's the most fourth wall breaking meta thing I've ever heard. Like, oh, it's an anime about a person who draws anime and then gets stuck in said anime. Like, it's very meta, but I'm kind of into it. Like, I kind of dig it. It looks aesthetically really pretty. It sounds unique. Like, I've not heard of something like this in an isekai before. Obviously, I've heard of like other worlds and whatnot, but like not being trapped in your own favorite anime. That's very cool. That's very unique. I don't know if this is out or not, but this is definitely something that I think I could sit and watch, especially because I do love a good isekai, even though this person doesn't, which is a story for another day, and it hurt my little heart. But regardless, this looks real good.
There should be 1 or 2 episodes available to watch, so I'd say do yourself a favor and check it out when you have a chance.
Yeah, I might have to.
We have an anime that was announced all the way back in 2022.
How is this?
Witch Hat Atelier.
Which Hat Atelier?
An adaptation of the popular fantasy manga series that premiered in 2016 and is still ongoing. The story follows Coco, a young girl who aspires to be a witch, and in the process of practicing some magical runes, accidentally turns her mother into stone.
Oh, well, whoops.
She's taken by a witch named Kifri. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but also your name is Kifri, so I'm not really going to feel that bad about it. Who is in the process of tracking down the coven who could be the source of the runes that Coco
looks
used
really
to turn her
good.
mother into stone.
Like, aesthetically.
I'll leave the synopsis there, but from what I've heard, the story has a lot of interesting twists and turns and indulges in the same narrative grandiosity that I enjoy so much in stories like Full Metal Alchemist, Berserk, and One Piece, where eventually a story about 1 or 2 individuals branches off into a larger, grander narrative. And that really is just a great way to get me on board with just about any show.
Apologies if I seem really dumb here, because I do have a mildly bad habit of doing that, but the plot and overall like aesthetic of this feels very, very similar to an old PlayStation 3 game called Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. And I don't know if that's like applying to anyone else. I don't know if anyone else has played the game, but it feels very similar to that. And if that is the case, I'm going to be so into this show. Like, it probably isn't, and I'm probably just like reaching at straws, or I'm clutching onto my obsession with Ni no Kuni, but this really, really gives me that vibe. And I don't know if it's doing it for anyone else, but honestly, if it can fill that gap for me, I'm very, very into this.
The manga has incredible art that really
It looks
captures
cool.
that aesthetic of a cozy fairy tale story. And I think the guys over at Bug Films have done an excellent job capturing that same feeling. I think the fantasy genre is such an untapped well of creativity for anime stories.
We don't get a lot of good
I'm
fantasy,
really
no,
glad that we
definitely.
seem to be going through a renaissance of new fantasy anime that have every intention to capitalize on the genre.
Which Hat Atelier? Okay.
That being said,
I'll check it out.
If we want to talk about potential, then we need to bring up the final anime of this video. Studio Bones' next big project after My Hero Academia. An anime that
I don't like My Hero.
could be one of the biggest smash hits for years to come. That anime is Gachiakuta.
Gachiakuta? I've never heard of it.
A little bit in the past, but nowhere is it more relevant than here.
Looks
After
cool.
being accused for a crime that he is not guilty of, our protagonist Rudo is cast down from a floating city into the pit, a place where those high in society dump all of their garbage.
That's
which,
nice.
Of course, includes their criminals. It's here that Rudo finds himself in a literal realm of trash, where basically everything sucks. I mean, there's literal trash monsters. It really can't get worse than that.
I see.
Rudo is eventually rescued by a man named Injin, who offers to help him survive the harsh environment of the pit. And in turn, Rudo's quest for revenge against those who wronged him begins. I really do think that Gachiakuta has the potential to be the next big thing. It just screams originality, and something
it is
I
unique.
really like about it is that it just feels so much like its own unique entity. This isn't me saying Gachiakuta isn't derivative in any way. I'm sure that the manga has plenty of inspiration.
Oh, most do, but it seems very
does seem dead set on making
its own thing.
World feel alive and distinct. And of course, I love massive stories that put large emphasis on the world itself.
Absolutely, world building is incredibly important. Incredibly.
The art style is both visually appealing while also having this grimy edge to it, which I can't imagine is an easy balance to strike.
No, that's very hard to strike that balance. Bones!
Their magic and deliver something truly incredible. You heard it here. I'm expecting big things from this anime, but I want to know what you guys think.
The only thing I would say to that is that they will miss a huge opportunity if they are putting this main character in a world of trash and there's monsters and there's this and that. If two of the monsters ain't like a raccoon and a possum, like in some sort of weird effed up way, then they have missed an opportunity, because they are like legitimate trash monsters. So if you can take those and make them into some like completely messed up, deformed monster thing for this show, I'd be so happy. That's a really weird request, and it's really like first world problem, but I think they'd be missing a complete trick if they didn't do it. Although, credit where credit's due, it looks really good. The whole art style, the grimy yet clean, is a very hard balance to get in an artistic sense, like purely from an artistic perspective. And it just sounds like something that's very unique and very kind of, I've not heard anything like it before. So that would probably catch my interest. So of the 5 shows that have been mentioned in the show, in this video, I should say, about 3 of them have really piqued my interest. We know Sakamoto Days is going to be watched. Like, that's not up for debate. That Zenshu thing, the isekai, really cool sounding. This last one, really cool sounding. And that Witch Hut Atelier, which, again, if it's anything like Ni no Kuni, then I'll be wiggling in my seat like a little schoolgirl. There's so much to watch, and I wish I didn't live under the rock that I live under. I don't know how many of these shows you guys knew about. You probably knew about all of them because you're smarter than me. I'm dumb, you're smart. We know this. But the question he was about to ask there was, what shows are you excited for this year? I'd like to know the same question, so let me know in the comments what you're excited for this year, if you've read any of these shows, if you've watched anything so far of these shows, and basically, long story short, let me know if they're worth watching. But that is all the time we got for today, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for giving me a part of your day, and I will see you soon for more anime content. Peace out, guys. I love you all dearly. Bye.